They told you to be kind, to smile, to behave. But what if I told you the parts you've buried, the anger you silence, the desires you deny, are the keys to your power? You've been taught to fear your darkness. But what if your greatest potential hides in the very thing you've tried to escape? Welcome to UMBRA INSIGHT, where shadow psychology meets dark motivation. Today, we go deeper than comfort. This isn't self-help. This is self-confrontation. Because your shadow isn't your enemy. It's the monster you hide and the power you've been waiting for.
You've felt it, haven't you? That strange heaviness in your chest when you're alone. The sudden rage when someone disrespects you. Too intense, too fast. The envy you deny. The thoughts you never say out loud. That is your shadow. Not a ghost, not a demon, but a psychological force, buried deep within your unconscious, holding every part of you that society told you to hide. Carl Jung called it the shadow self. It's everything you suppress, your fears, your shame, your rage, your desires. But it's not evil. It's raw, unfiltered, uncivilized, and incredibly real. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The more you deny your shadow, the more power it gains over you. You become reactive. You sabotage relationships. You project your hidden traits onto others. And you don't even know why you're hurting. We've been trained to wear a mask, to be nice, agreeable, likable, but deep down, something inside you is screaming, "This isn't me." You're not weak. You're divided. Shadow psychology isn't about fixing you. It's about making you whole. And that begins with one terrifying, liberating step. Facing the monster inside. There was a boy named Eli. He was quiet, gentle, always did what he was told. He never raised his voice. Never broke the rules. People said, "He's such a good kid." But inside, he was burning. At night, Eli would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, fists clenched under the sheets. He didn't know why he felt so angry, so restless. His parents called it mood swings. But it wasn't that. It was something deeper, something ancient, a rage that wasn't irrational. It was repressed. Eli had a brother, loud, charismatic, the golden child. Whenever Eli spoke, people interrupted him. Whenever he succeeded, no one noticed. His smile slowly faded into silence. And in that silence, something grew. He started writing violent stories. He dreamt of burning everything down. Not because he was evil, but because no one ever saw his fire. One day, during a school debate, a classmate mocked him publicly. Everyone laughed. Eli's heart pounded. His hands shook, and in a flash, he snapped. He stood up, and for the first time, he let the monster speak. He tore into the boy with words sharper than knives. He exposed every flaw, every lie, every fake smile. The class went silent. No one laughed again. That night, Eli didn't cry. He didn't feel guilty. He felt powerful. Not because he hurt someone, but because he finally stopped hiding who he really was. Years later, Eli became a psychologist, not to help people be nice, but to help them be whole. He teaches them what he learned that day, that the monster inside you isn't here to destroy you, it's here to protect you. Carl Jung once said, The shadow is everything you refuse to acknowledge about yourself. Not just anger, not just pain, but also brilliance, passion, sexuality, wildness, everything that didn't fit into the ideal image you were forced to wear. From childhood, we are shaped to please, to adapt, to survive. You were told, don't cry, don't shout, don't be difficult, so you buried your emotions to be accepted. But what happens to emotions you bury alive? They don't die, they wait. And they come back in the form of anxiety, self-sabotage, addictions, broken relationships, numbness. The shadow is not your enemy. It's your mirror, and until you face it, you'll keep fighting battles you don't understand. Think of your psyche like a house. The rooms you show others, the kindness, the smiles, the good intentions, those are the well-lit spaces. But there's a basement too, and that's where your shadow lives. Most people avoid that basement. They lock it, pretend it's not there, but the more you deny it, the more it leaks through the cracks, in dreams, in breakdowns, in moments when your mask slips. Jung didn't tell us to destroy the shadow. He taught us to integrate it. Integration means turning toward the parts you fear. It means saying, yes, I'm capable of rage. Yes, I feel envy. Yes, I want power. Not to glorify darkness, but to become honest, real, whole. This is the path of individuation. Jung's term for becoming a complete self. It's not about being perfect. It's about becoming conscious. And consciousness begins where denial ends. You cannot escape your shadow, but you can walk beside it. And when you do, you become powerful. Not because you're fearless, but because you're no longer at war with yourself. Now that you've glimpsed the shadow, it's time to face it. Gently but honestly. Shadow work doesn't begin with violence. It begins with curiosity. So here's your first step. The mirror ritual. Tonight, find a quiet space. Turn off your phone. Dim the lights. Stand in front of a mirror. Not to fix your appearance, but to witness your essence. Look into your own eyes. Not your skin, not your flaws, your eyes. And ask yourself these 7 questions. Slowly, one by one. What emotion am I afraid to feel? 2. When was the last time I felt shame, and why? 3. Who triggers me the most, and what might that say about me? 4. What part of myself do I try hardest to hide from others? 5. What am I pretending to be okay with? 6. What am I jealous of? And what does that reveal about my desires? 7. If my shadow could speak tonight, what would it say? Don't rush. Let the answers come, not from your mind, but from the ache in your chest. If tears come, let them. If rage rises, feel it. You're not here to judge. You're here to listen, to connect, to reclaim the parts you've left in the dark. Write down what you hear, not as a diary, but as a contract, a declaration that says, I see you, I'm not afraid of you anymore. This is not easy, but it's real, and that's where your power begins. Not in denial, but in radical honesty. Pause for a moment. Let everything sink in. You've just touched something sacred. Not outside of you, but within. Now, ask yourself, not with logic, but with your soul, what part of me have I silenced the longest? Why did I abandon it? Who taught me it was wrong to feel this way? What am I pretending not to know about myself? And what would happen if I stopped pretending? What would it feel like to let my shadow walk beside me instead of locking it in the basement? Could I love the monster I once feared? Most people will never ask these questions. They'll scroll past them, deny them, mock them. But you paused. You listened. You felt. That's not weakness. That's awakening. The truth is, your shadow has been waiting. Not to haunt you, but to hold you. To say, I've always been here. Waiting for you to come home.
You were never broken, just buried. Under expectations, under silence, under the fear of your own power. But tonight, something inside you opened. A door, a wound, a truth. You met your monster, and maybe you saw that it wasn't a monster after all. Just a part of you that was tired of being caged. This is the beginning, not of perfection, but of integration, not of light without darkness, but of a self that holds both. At UMBRA INSIGHT, we don't run from the shadow. We walk through it, with eyes wide open, with courage in silence, with a heart that no longer lies. Subscribe if you're ready to meet more of yourself. Like if this spoke to the part of you no one sees. Comment and share your reflection. Because in this darkness, you are not alone.